What is up, my dear friends, and welcome back to the Happy Heart Academy. My name is Tyler Joe Stratton, and today we are going to be talking about how to create a very supportive community and a system that will be able to help you heal and recover and feel happy and supportive after heartbreak. I think a strong support system is what will help you get over your heartbreak in a more empowering manner. I think that's what exactly was one of my first steps I believe I took when I was trying to overcome my heartbreak. I realized that after a while, it wasn't something I could do alone. It wasn't something that I could overcome by myself. And this was after, I would say, many, many months of loneliness and despair, of feeling inadequate and not empowered to be able to overcome heartbreak. And so today I'm going to give you 4 practical and essential steps that you can begin to take so that you can overcome your heartbreak and give you a little sense of direction that will empower you to understand how to go about creating this supportive community if you don't have a supportive community. Because I believe during a heartbreak, one of the things that I talk a lot about in my book, The Big Three, helping you build joyful and loving relationships with yourself, others, and God, is this concept that the thing that I was running away from, the thing that hurt me the most, was relationships. And the thing that I needed the most to heal was relationships. And many times when we find ourselves going through a tough time or a heartbreak, we often distance ourselves from the relationships that we have with ourselves, others, God, and everything in between. So I ask you, in these moments of hardship and struggle and pain and heartbreak, to open yourself up a little bit to other people. Allow your friends and family back in. And, find yourself a supportive community. Sometimes it seems to me that it could be easier for some people to open up to a community rather than a friend or a family member, because you're always going to see them and you don't want them to see your deep, dark pains, because you feel if you let them in that deep and that dark, that they're no longer going to love you, that they'll no longer accept who you are, that they'll no longer be a part of your life, and that's not something you want, which is obviously a fear that is not true. I mean, it's if you allow someone in that deep, it's wrong of them to take advantage of you. But ideally, if it's people that you're close friends with, and you've always been friends with, and it's your family members like your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, whoever you turn to ideally to help you in this time, if you let them into the darkness, they will become your source of light. And that's exactly what took place for me when I was going through my darkest of times. Ideally, the whole point of the Happy Heart Academy is to help you go from heartbreak to happiness, and ultimately, hopefully one day, just to be able to start to focus more on happier content. Meaning, I'd like to help you understand ways in which you can feel more empowered, so that you're no longer in this heartbreak stage, but you're ready to grow, you're ready to feel empowered, you're ready to realign with your life's purpose in your heart, so that you can connect more deeply to your heart, show up in love, and give love not only to yourself, but to other people. Because I believe that there's this horrible system going on, this horrible repetition of action that's going on. It's called hurt people, and if I'm trying to break that habit, that idea that hurt people. Well, I believe healed people can heal people. So today we're going to be talking about a way in which you can heal that is actually effective and will help you to move on and feel supportive and feel happy and feel like you're a part of something. Because during this time you lost your significant other, and in that time you feel absolutely lost and alone, and that's not what the Happy Heart Academy is about. So we're really helping you, trying to reconnect with yourself, others, God, and everything in between, so that you can live a happier, more prosperous life and experience more joy and fulfillment in your life and relationships. And I know that sounds all good and stuff, but realistically, there's ways in which you can do that. And I've been studying it for the past 7 years, and it's finally time for me to show up for you to coach to guide, to help, to heal, not only my heart, but your heart as well along the way. And I'm going back in time to remember what it is, what are some of the steps that I took that helped me heal, and give you some practical ways in which you can actually begin to heal your heart's hurts. So to just dive right into it, realistically, like I was saying, when you are in this heartbroken moments, what we want to do is pull away from our relationships with ourselves, others, and God. We find ourselves depressed. We find ourselves in dark rooms, maybe in our bedroom, binge watching Netflix shows, scrolling mindlessly through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, social medias, whatever, TikTok nowadays. That is not something that's going to help you heal, but that just takes your mind away from it, but you'll still feel it. Your mind is no longer consciously focused on it, but your feelings are still in the pain. So what you're currently doing when you mindlessly scroll the pain away, quote unquote, or mindlessly binge watch Netflix series that help you to ignore the pain, the part of your pain that you're currently experiencing has to be felt in order to heal it. I always talk about this concept, you must feel it to heal it. Well, this is one of those instances. Like, the reason why you're in this pain is for you to grow. And God, ideally, I'm not here as a religious person, but God, ideally, I'm such a believer in Jesus Christ and God, but ideally what I need to help you understand is that God in and of himself will be able to empower you and equip you if you allow yourself to stop being so distracted. He's working for you and not against you. And this heartbreak will become your breakthrough and blessing, but you have to create space for that blessing and breakthrough to take place. You can't keep ignoring this pain. You have to feel it to heal it. So before I get off on a tangent, I need to help you understand the ideas. There's 4 key steps that you must take in order to build the best type of supportive network to help you get through your heartbreak and create a happiness in your life and relationships and beyond. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. Number 1, you have to reach out to your friends and family. Now, I already touched base on this, and before you poo-poo all of this stuff, I need you to understand that common sense, it's not always common practice. And what I mean by that is, just because you know something doesn't mean that you're applying that something. Knowing one thing doesn't mean that that can actually heal you. Knowing it can't heal you. Doing it can. So everything that I'm offering you is something that I need you to take action on. I can't heal you. You can heal you. I can provide you with the proper tools, practical tips, and ideas to help move you forward and help you let go of your past and live more fully present in this moment. But hear me out. I can't force this upon you, and I can't take you necessarily by the hand and physically force you over to the side of love and light and happiness. What I need you to do is really take these concepts and place 1 or 2 of them into your life and actually attempt to do these things. Don't just listen to me, don't just watch me, but actually implement them and do these things, because that's exactly what will help you heal your heart's hurt, is empowering and equipping your spirit, yourself, your heart, your mind, your body to move forward. So the first thing I need you to do is reach out to your friends and family. Oprah Winfrey once said, surround yourself with only people who are going to lift you higher. So that makes me have to ask you, are you surrounding yourself currently with anybody besides yourself when you are done at work, when you are away from your typical daily activities like the gym or whatever your daily habits are? Are you surrounding yourself by people who are willing and able to lift you higher? Or are you trying to figure this out all by yourself and do this alone? I did that, big mistake. It put me in the dark hole of depression and thoughts of suicide. And I almost took my life in attempt of my breakup. What a selfish thought that was for me. However, I'm so grateful that I didn't, because now I get to empower and equip people with the proper ways in which we can heal and get through those dark times. So, when it comes to this thought of reaching out to your friends and family, I think it's so vitally important to be able to be vulnerable and open. In vulnerability, there comes freedom. And right now, you feel so locked up and so lost and so unprepared to take on the pain that's inside. That's why you're currently ignoring it by mindlessly scrolling or binge watching Netflix, other than it might be a good show, and if that's the case, that's okay. But hear me out. You have everything you need already within 1 to 5 people from you. There is somebody in your life that loves you, cares about you, wants to help you, and wants to see you succeed not only in your life, but also in your relationships. And so I ask, be open, be vulnerable, be real, and go to them and help them understand what it is you're seeking from them, and help them help you. Help them understand how they can help you and support you through this time. That would be number one. So ideally, write out 1 to 3 people, 1 to 5 people that you could ideally reach out to that are your friends and family that would be open, real, and upfront with you to help you overcome this time. Because I'm telling you, the way in which you heal is to walk toward the relationships, not to walk away from them and exclude yourself from living. You know, number 2 is find people who are going through the same thing or who have gone through the same thing. I thought this was so empowering when it comes to building this supportive community and helping you overcome your heart's hurt, because one of the things that we all deal with, and I've already touched base on this, but is loneliness. Loneliness is a leading cause to depression and thoughts of suicide. I need you to overcome this loneliness by actually finding other people who are dealing with the same thing. A lot of loneliness comes from the idea that we don't believe anybody is suffering the way that we are suffering. Or number 2, a lot of the loneliness comes from that we don't believe that they understand what we're going through. And then we step away from that relationship and feeling empowered. So I need you to be able to feel confident in knowing that you will feel release, you will feel freedom, you will feel, there's 2 big things that I think you will experience when you reach out to people who are going through the same thing you're going through. The first thing what you'll understand and realize, I think, is that that your story is not the worst case scenario. That if they got through it, you can too. And I think that's a very important perception switch that needs to take place in your mind and your heart, that, damn, their story's strong, it's hard, it's powerful. I can't believe that that's what they went through. That's their story, and yet they're overcoming their heartbreak. They've created happiness, and they're working toward a beautiful relationship with their current partner. Like, these stories will equip you to feel empowered and not so alone, you know, which leads me to my second point that you will experience in this time when you're trying to find people who are going through the same thing. When you find that group of community or that person or that few people, you know, I think what you'll experience is that you're not alone. You're not alone. And I think this is empowering, because right now you feel alone. We feel alone. We feel lost. We feel scared. We feel empty. We feel lifeless, and like life doesn't have a purpose or a meaning, and we don't know who we truly are. So when we find ourselves surrounding ourselves with people who have went through this, we will feel not alone, and we will actually feel more empowered by their aliveness and knowing that they are further along, and they're kind of like they're kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel that we don't necessarily can see all the time. It's like, well, I know X, Y, or Z, that person actually, you know, seems to be living in a beautiful state and are joyful, or a little bit more joyful, or a little bit further along than I am. And I kind of want that. And so how do I get there? How did you get there? Asking and opening yourself up to those conversations. And that's the purpose of the Happy Heart community, guys. And quick note, if you are not a part of the Happy Heart community, I ask you to come join me there at the Happy Heart Academy, because the Happy Heart Academy community is a community focused more on your heart rather than your hurt, to help you overcome heartbreak and to create happiness after your heartbreak, so that your heartbreak is not a defining moment that disempowers you, but empowers you and creates a blessing inside of you and outside of you. And if you want to be a part of that, be sure to go to community.happyheartacademy.com and join us there. There's amazing resources there that you will find, including the Walk Back to Happiness, my 7 steps to help you go from heartbreak to happiness. You'll have my free what is it called? I think it's called the Breakup Recovery free course, 8 videos there for you to help you walk you through that heartbreak. You'll also receive access to my book, The Big 3, helping you build joyful and loving relationships with yourself, others, and God, and so much more, guys. Be sure to go check it out at the Happy Heart Academy. It's community.happyheartacademy.com. The link will be listed below. If you're watching this on YouTube, it will be below if you're listening to this on the Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to this to. But ideally, understand that I would love for you to join there, because there we have hundreds of heartbreak survivors or heartbroken people that are coming together to help heal one another, as well as receive the guidance and weekly trainings from myself to help you overcome your heartbreak. So if you're looking for a community, that's a great place to begin. If you're not looking for a specific community and you already have that community, invite them if they're helping you heal your heart, and you know that they could be an asset to the Happy Heart Academy, be sure to invite them to the community as well. So number 3, seek professional help, also known as a coach, guide, or mentor. Listen, I know that there's sometimes a negative connotation behind this thought of seeking a therapist, but I believe that there's power in finding a guide, a coach, a mentor, a therapist to kind of help you work through this difficult time. I think some of the greatest and most successful people in time have had mentors. Like I read an article the other day that said that Mark Zuckerberg, or is it Zuckerberg or Zuckerberger? I don't know. Mark Zuckerberg, whatever, was mentored by Steve Jobs. I think that's pretty incredible. Like one of the most powerful and successful men in humankind right now, the owner of Facebook, was mentored by the owner of Apple, one of the greatest brands of all time. We all need mentors. We all need coaches. We all need somebody to kind of help guide us through this dark time. Because I've heard from one of my greatest mentors of all time. His name is Brendon Burchard. He always says that the time to have the map is before you enter the woods. The time to have the map is before you enter the woods. Like the time to know what's going on is before you find yourself in a complete devastated heartbreak. So when you have a mentor, when you have a guide, when you have a coach, when you have someone like myself in your life, and it doesn't need to be me, just somebody, I'm asking you to find somebody where you can seek professional help, guidance, mentorship, coaching, whatever it may be that you're seeking. But I believe that in that time, what you'll find is yourself to be able to heal fully, love openly, and make a difference, because you'll be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because your guide, your coach, your mentor is going to coach you through these difficult thoughts, these difficult times, these unwanted emotions that you don't know how to truly express and let go of. So if you need to learn how to let go of those thoughts and express yourself and to create a more peaceful internal environment, these are great people to turn to. If you need help, I'm always here. Come join me at the community.happyheartacademy.com. I am taking currently 10 new people to coach one-on-one with throughout the start of the new year. So I'm excited to work with just 10 new people at this year. So if you're looking to overcome your heartbreak or create happiness after your heartbreak, or help you find some ways in which you can begin to move on, definitely reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you and help you begin that process. And lastly, number 4 is rely on yourself. I think a lot of this really does come down to stepping into your own personal power, finding yourself and making time for yourself to equip yourself with the proper information. Anytime you go through a tough time, one of the greatest things that I did was I equipped myself with, I identified the problem. I identified that I was depressed and unhappy. And I wanted to know, how do I overcome this? Because feeling this way, or expecting it to just go away, wasn't working for me. This was like a year and a half down the road, and I still didn't move on. I was like, what is going on? But I never understood how to move on. So what I did was I began to rely on myself, to equip and to empower myself by identifying the problem and reading the solution. I read books. I read personal development books. I read life-enhancing books. I listened to life-enhancing podcasts, and that helped me really begin to unlock my happiness after heartbreak, because I realized that part of the biggest devastation in my heartbreak was that I couldn't find a way to heal or feel good because I was dying, because I wasn't growing. I came to the conclusion that if you're not growing, yourself, your mindset, your heart set, your health set, your soul set, your entire person, if you're not growing, you're dying. And nobody likes to feel like death or they're dying. And if you're not growing and pushing your mindset, your heart set, your health set, your soul set, and investing into yourself, you're going to feel like you're not worth anything. Well, of course you're not worth anything. If you did not invest into your 401k or your savings account, and you try to you go to your 401k or you go to your savings account and you look into it and you see $0.00, you're going to feel like you have nothing because you have nothing. Well, the same thing, same concept applies to your yourself. Listen, when you don't invest in yourself and then you go into yourself and try to figure out what you have to bring to the table, you feel like you have nothing. You feel like you're worthless. And that's not the power sense of identity that I need you to hold. I want you to feel equipped and properly empowered to move on and move forward in your heartbreak in this tough time so that you can create happiness. And the way you do that is invest in yourself. The more you invest into yourself and rely on yourself to move forward, the better off you're going to feel. You'll be able to reclaim your personal power, reclaim your energy, feel more joyful in your life and relationships. Those are the 4 things that I believe that you can begin to do today in order for you to experience happiness after your heartbreak. Once again, number 1, just to give you a quick recap to the 4 steps that you must take in order to build the best type of support network that you possibly can to help you get through your heartbreak and create happiness, is reach out to your friends and family. They're already there, so use them. Number 2 is all about finding people who are going through the same thing that you are going through. Number 3 is seek professional help, aka find your guide, your mentor, your coach, your therapist. Find somebody that can help you through these tough times. And number 4, rely on yourself. Don't forget to rely on yourself, because you are enough, have always been enough, will continue to be enough, and now it's time to invest in yourself so that when the time comes, you will feel properly empowered, properly equipped, and ready to take on this life of yours. My name is Tyler Stratton. I'm so grateful that you are here. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know. Leave a comment below if you enjoyed this episode. If there's a specific topic that you'd like me to talk about, please be sure to just let me know. Reach out to me. Instagram at Tyler Joe Stratton, TikTok at Tyler Joe Stratton, YouTube at Tyler Joe Stratton. Everything is at Tyler Joe Stratton. So that's TylerJoestratton. You can find me anywhere on those specific platforms, but reach out, ask the question. I'm here to help support you through this tough time, because you don't have to do this alone. And it's better not to do it alone. So once again, I hope you have a blessed day, and we will be talking to you very soon. Thanks, guys.